What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 326 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod. It's Kyle and Ben recording live from bunkers. The Winter League is over, but we're still here.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to throw us out.
Well, I mean, it ended great for us.
Yeah.
Because we're not very good, and we play, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Other than that, man, they're thinking about doing this again. Actually, they learned something during our playoff that we did that we'll discuss at the end of the pod, that they want to do more of that. Like the whole time, at least while Kyle was hitting, they kept telling me, we need to have this format. Like, it was exciting. We had...
Yeah, don't spoil it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it. But and we're also going to talk Masters. It's Masters week. We're jacked up for the Masters, so we got a couple things we want to talk about on the Masters. Before we do that, we got to give a shout out to Bet Online, the #1 sports betting website in the country. Sign up today. Use coupon code BLEAV, BLEAV, and on your first deposit, you get a 50% bonus. That means give them $100. They're going to give you 50 back on top to play with.
Yes.
So go ahead, get that account logged in. Go ahead and pick you some Masters props bets, some futures winners, stuff like that. You can do a lot of PGA
baseball in action now.
Baseball,
NBA playoffs are coming up.
Yep, you still got a little bit on NBA, but yeah, you're right. All that's coming up. Baseball's dead in the swing of it, so you can have a lot of fun. And then they got the online casino.
With the recent success, WNBA, Caitlin Clark, she'll get drafted #1.
I think she should stay. She's
going to make more money if she stays.
She's going to make way more money.
I think the highest paid player is $750,000. I think she makes over $3 million right now.
If that. But Bet Online is where the game starts. So look, it's Masters week, man.
I know.
I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel not quite as excited this year as I have in the past, and I can't really put my finger on why.
Oh, I'm totally opposite.
You're the opposite.
Because I watched the women's amateur this past Saturday, and just seeing the green and seeing the azaleas and seeing #1, you get to see more during the women's amateur because there's not near as many people there because they're only. I didn't realize this. Found this out on the women's am. They're only allowed to take 2 people. And there's a limited number of tickets that are allowed.
Wow.
And there's a limited number of media. And the media can't bring cameras just like we can't during a regular, like you have to use Masters or you have to use Augusta Photogs, their photos. So
wow, I didn't realize that.
A buddy of mine went for media because he covers.
There's like nobody there then.
He covers Auburn women's golf. And so when Auburn had a player that made it and finished tied for 5th, by the way. And so he was telling me, he goes, there's nobody there. Now, this is cheat code. If you can get tickets next year, because what they will do is if you don't win the lottery, a lot of times if you will read the fine print, they will tell you, would you like women's amateur tickets?
And I didn't know that either.
And you may be saying, no, don't say that. Shops are open on Saturday.
Yeah.
You can get your shopping done early.
Get your gear in, man, for
and
sure.
You get to walk the grounds with friggin' nobody there.
You know what you could do in theory? You could buy gear on that day.
Yes.
Sunday. And more than
Saturday.
likely
They play their final round
Saturday.
Because practice rounds start on Sunday.
You could, if you wanted to, you could buy gear on Saturday, hang out in Augusta. You could sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. And pay for scalp tickets.
There's no doubt.
Easily.
We scalped tickets one year because we had one extra, and we sold it at a gas station to a dude for $800.
You'll never be able to go to Augusta now
for a practice round.
Because you said you scalped a ticket.
They don't know because it wasn't actually under my name.
You're on the radar now.
Should I throw his name out there so it's him instead of me?
No, you're done. You can't do that. You can't be a snitch. No. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint why I'm just not quite as fired up. I know though, once I start watching those live feed cams, Monday morning at the Masters and all that junk, I know I'll probably get fired up.
While we're recording, as soon as we get home, Kyle's gonna pull up Golf Channel, and it's gonna say live from Augusta. Or live from the Masters.
And I'll get the chills and get ready.
And then all of a sudden, he's going to be pumped up. But instead, we're recording while that's going on right now, and he's missing out.
And that could be it. But, and, you know, I wonder also if it's like as more years go by, I'm just, Tiger more than likely doesn't have a chance to win. So you're like, is my interest waning a little bit? I don't know. I can't really pinpoint it, but I'm just not there yet.
But there's so many other storylines. Live guys are getting to play.
Yeah.
New guys are getting to play.
Yep.
Guys that have played the course 3 or 4 times. Rory, will he continue to stub his toe?
He's not playing good.
No, I mean, there's so many. Spieth's not playing great, but he seems to play well at Augusta. So does he come out of nowhere and win a major? So there's so many storylines to go along with it that you got to get excited because, man, it's all going to lead up. And Sunday you still don't know what's going to happen because, as they say, the Masters doesn't begin to the back 9 on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right. I'll get there, but for whatever reason, we're recording this on Monday. I don't know. I'm just not quite there yet.
See, I'll text him Sunday and he'll ghost me because he'll be so focused on the tournament. And then afterwards he'll be like, man, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. So see, it'll change.
Yeah. So number one thing to talk about, I already kind of mentioned it, Tiger Woods. He is playing. Yep. He was there on Sunday. He was there early playing.
Yes.
So, he's there on the grounds. I guess he feels good. There was a rumor. I don't know if I never know with that PGA Tour spoof account.
The TUOR tour?
I never know if
TOUR?
Yeah, I never know if they're legit or not because sometimes they do have golf news, but there was a rumor he shot 31 on the front 9.
I believe it.
You believe it? I choose to believe it.
That's the thing. I don't know if he did. That's what I'm telling everybody. It's like it's like the fishing story.
Yeah, the fish gets bigger each time.
Yeah, he did it.
So
29. It'll be 29 by Friday.
Is it realistic to expect him to have expectations of him making the cut and being in the talk at all? Like maybe, I mean, not necessarily a threat to win, but just like, I don't know.
So we're not watching him at 8:30 a.m. on ESPN Plus on Sunday.
You actually get to see him for coverage. Do you feel like that's realistic expectations?
Yes. I think making the cut is totally realistic because, as many of the other pros have said, Tiger could shoot 1 or 2 under, like
into
having
60s.
to use a cart, like in his sleep. Like they've said that he knows the place so well that he legit can go out there, have a bad day, and be under par. So I think he'll make the cut unless he has, since he's come back, had a blow-up hole every now and then.
Yeah.
So he could shoot himself out of the tournament on a Thursday or Friday by having an 8 on a par 4 or dunking it in the water or something on 15, followed up by a bogey on 16, 17, and 18 because 17 for some reason seems to get his goat every single time. He seems to not do better than I would venture to say, I don't know this off the top of my head, I'd venture to say his scoring average on 17 is probably over par. And
I can't remember. Is 17 the one with no bunkers, or is that 14?
I can't remember because 17 is the one that they never show until you basically get to the green.
Yeah.
And
I think it's...
I think he's got a bunker. I think it's 14.
It's 14.
I think he's got a bunker.
Yeah.
And so he sent, for some reason, even when he made the miraculous chip years ago, people forget that he followed 16 up with a bogey on 17. And so going into 18, he actually made it closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
After he chipped in on 16. So he could have a blow-up hole, but, the thing that gets me, number one, and I told Kyle this, I don't know how I feel about Grandpa Tiger.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean his kid's pregnant, so don't start that rumor, for goodness sakes. I mean, she's a teenager. But he has turned into, Kyle mentioned he came in on Sunday. And I'm glad he's doing this. This is one good thing that I do like. He came in on Sunday. He got to meet, or he met a lot of the kids from the drive, chip, and putt championship that took place.
I don't like it.
Could you imagine, though, being a kid that did that?
I know, but I just don't like it.
So he's turning into... I told Kyle his practice round on Sunday, on 18, they showed shots of him. He's over there visiting with the crowd. When's the last time Tiger Woods hung out with the crowd other than just to sign an autograph and move on?
He's sending mixed signals. Like, there was one report where he said he swore off sex. Did you see that?
Well, I mean, he
did
kick his woman out, so I don't know that
he said, I mean, there's some source said the Tiger's so serious he's sworn off sex, which seems kind of counterintuitive because he was kind of at his prime when he was slaying. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. if you believe that after he went to rehab for it, I got some oceanfront property in Nebraska I'd love to sell you because I don't know if that's happening.
It's probably not. But
the only good news is he's got is, with it being Augusta and it being landlocked, he can't pull his yacht up and hide chicks on the boat.
That's true. You can't get that up the river.
Yeah. So maybe he is. I don't know if I believe it. But Grandpa Tiger hanging out with people on 18, laughing, giggling.
He's not on the prowl. He does not seem to be on the prowl.
No, that's the thing. He's turned into
that's what it is.
He's turned into the.
I think that's what it is.
You know those that show Tiger King with all those tigers that are big and fat and cuddly. That's what he's turned into. He ain't the stealth,
scary
tiger that's pissed at everybody. He's the tiger that's like, hey man, you want to work on your game? Let me help you out.
Let me tell you some secrets. No, he wouldn't ever do that.
No,
like back in the day,
especially at a major
in Augusta.
Did you hear the story about Tony Finau when he played with him in the final round 2019 when he played?
No.
So Finau says, we get paired in 2019 together. This is when Tiger was not in contention when they teed off. This is one where Molinari was behind him or whatever and put it in the water. Brooks put it in the water. So he ended up winning the tournament. So Finau says, we go off on one, and he says something to him on one, and Tiger doesn't say a word to him. He says, I wait till 7, and we start going off the tee on 7, and we start walking down the tee box, and I look at him and go, were the kids good? And he looked at him and go, yeah. And they kept walking. And Finau said, he didn't say another word to me until 18.
I want that Tiger.
Where he said, good round.
Look, if he's not into it, I'm not going to be into it. That's the problem. That's what we just figured. I just figured it out.
So what if he's grinning and all that on the course? But what if he's doing that and playing well?
I just don't think he can.
I don't think he can either.
It's celebratory. It's kind of just like a celebratory round at this point.
We want focused Tiger.
I want
FT.
Sweat dripping off the end of his nose, grinding his balls off Tiger. That's what I want.
I want the tape around his finger to be frayed because he's swinging so hard that he's having to rewrap his finger every 3 holes.
Don't talk to Freddie. Stop jacking around with JT. Like, just get out there and get after it.
Peanut butter and banana sandwiches like he eats on the course, not saying a word. I want Tony Finau treatment. I want people to talk to him and him just to look at him and scowl.
Yes. Yeah, all the things that like the haters used to hate him over, I want that Tiger.
Has he announced? Is he playing in the par 3?
If he does, I'm not even watching the Masters.
Because that's not true.
At that point,
he's lying. That's not true.
At that point, we don't even care anymore. At that point, he doesn't even care anymore. If he subjects himself to the par 3.
Well, he played one year because he had Sam on his bag, carry the bag for him, his daughter. So he's done it before.
I'm just telling you, I'm not watching it.
But I think Charlie and Sam are too old to do that now. I don't think they do that this year.
Yeah, Sam's like.
She's like 20. She's like 29. She's out of college.
She's not that old.
She's married with kids. That's why we call him Grandpa Tiger.
No,
that's a lie. That's not true.
No, but
I think she's 16 or 17.
I thought Charlie was 16 or 17.
No, he's younger than my youngest daughter. He's 14.
I think that was a couple years ago.
No, he was just 14.
He played on his high school golf team.
Exactly, as a 9th grader.
9th graders are 15.
My 9th grader is 14.
Well, she skipped a grade.
Kyle's got little kids.
Well, my kids have young.
They will turn 15. She'll turn 15 over the summer. I think that's what he is. I think they have like similar birthdays.
Maybe so. Don't fact check us on that.
Besides, he ain't 16. He's not driving yet. He's either 14 or 15. Still, that's
maybe 15.
Yeah.
But so Tiger's in it. He's been a little bit lackadaisical. It seems like
he's wussy. He's wussy.
And I want to see hard fighting Tiger back on the course.
I did like that some of the experts, including Brandel of all people, who is not anti-Tiger, but he definitely doesn't think Tiger's ever going to get back to himself. And he said, number one, he thinks he'll win again at some point. Not this weekend. He just said win again. But number two, he said on courses like this, he's dangerous because he knows the course so well, and his swing speed and ball speed is up. And so he's hitting it just as far as some of the long knockers.
Yeah.
So he's saying that this is a type course where I think his quote was something, I'm paraphrasing here, if he's hanging around on Sunday, people should be worried because that killer instinct will kick in, and he will stop talking to
That's
his
another thing.
partners.
Like, it won't take much for the switch to flip. I don't feel like it'll take a ton for the switch to flip. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think if he puts up a decent number on Thursday when he goes out there, I think we'll see a different Tiger Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
If he's like 2 under at the turn, game over.
If he's 2 under at the turn,
he's gonna
golf world will absolutely lose their minds.
I'm anxious to see. This is kind of off topic, but 2 has got that brand new tee box that's like out in the neighborhood. They moved it so far back.
I know.
It's like up against the boundary fence. So, can you get off to a good start, par 1, and then birdie 2, knock it way down there, and then you're like, oh boy.
Oh yeah. By the way, the women's amateur this past weekend, they made them hit from the men's tees on 1, like what we usually see.
Good for it.
But they were poking it out there.
I'm sure they were.
They were even with the bunker.
That's good.
That lets you know how the Masters and Augusta has, as Tiger said, they're adjusting to today's game with the length, as like Kyle just said. Now they got tee boxes that they got extra tee boxes, and they're going to put guys back. I'm just fascinated to see, number one, how he does on day 1, because
that's big. Day 1's big.
If he puts a decent score up, I don't think we see Paw Tiger moving into the weekend.
No, I agree. 100%.
And so, and lo and behold, if he makes the cut and he's on the first 2 pages of the leaderboard, I definitely think we see a different Tiger moving into Saturday and Sunday.
Sure.
And as Brandel said, if he's on that first page of the leaderboard, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves, number 1, can he hold up? Because that's his biggest concern, being able to be physically able to do it. And number 2, what do people ahead of him think when they see his name up on the leaderboard if it comes Sunday? Because people can say
that it
doesn't bother them,
but it will.
Ask Bruce Koepka and Molinari in 2019 if it bothered them or not. Because when they got to 12 and they saw that name, I don't care what anybody says, because Molinari even said, I didn't even notice. You're lying.
Liar.
You are lying.
You did it twice, Molinari. You hit it in the water twice.
Exactly. You saw the name. Now, one other guy that I think is, I told you just a little bit earlier, Jordan Spieth. I think he's got an opportunity to do well this weekend.
Sure.
Just because he plays well.
He plays well there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, another topic for Augusta. LIV has quite a few representatives this year. It's at least somewhere around 10, I believe.
I think it's up
maybe
to 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, at least 10, possibly even more. Does any LIV guy have a real chance this year, and who would it be in your opinion?
Jon Rahm.
I think John, and probably maybe like a Joaquin Niemann, just because he's playing really good golf. I feel like those guys might have a shot. Brooks is not playing well.
Yeah, but I'm not counting Brooks out of any major.
I know. He doesn't care about anything but majors, so maybe he can turn it on. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like LIV is not going to have a good showing. I don't know why. I just got that feeling.
No, I don't think they will. I think that you'll have 3 or 4 guys that Cam Smith is still playing decent.
He's one that's really sort of kind of fallen off the map.
But he also is one of those that when he gets to Augusta, he's like Rory. He kind of puts up a number. So I don't know that he'll do okay, but he is playing okay. Jon Rahm loves the course. He's learned how to get by. DJ's won there, so he knows how to play it, but DJ's not playing great golf.
DJ will make the cut.
So, I mean, DJ flat out said he doesn't practice except a couple of days before every tournament now. So,
which is unfortunately kind of proving the point of a lot of the people that say the money's going to really hurt them from a game aspect. And we're all like, no, they're good, they're competitors, but it does seem to have some effect.
The only way they help themselves is when they get this many into a tournament, such as a major, if 50% of them or more do really well. Like if you see them up there at the top of the leaderboard, and I mean every major. I'm not talking about just Augusta. I'm talking whatever major they're invited to or whatever cross tournament that they're able to play in, even if it turns out to be moving forward President Ryder Cup, now that they're saying they want them back on there. I think that they have to put up a good showing in those type of events when PGA Tour is there, because that just Kyle's right. It proves the point that they're kind of going through the motions while they're out there and just going tournament and taking their money.
Yep.
And
it hurts your game. It's going to hurt their game. I mean, how are you going to be able to compete for majors? How can you create the environment to be able to go grind it out in majors?
No, I agree.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, give me some bold prediction. Give me a prediction for something that's going to happen.
I'll give you a good and a bad.
All right.
Because unlike what you think, I think Brooks Koepka is in contention on the final day.
Okay.
And the bad is, with the firing of Bones, I think JT does not make the cut.
Okay.
I think that was stupid of him to fire Bones a week before Augusta, who has been around that track with Phil with wins.
I'd love to know more about what happened.
Been around that track with Phil with close to wins, second place finishes. And then he houses him literally the Thursday before the week of the Masters. And I think that does not help him. Unless he gets a caddy that really clicks with him and really knows Augusta National in and out, I don't think he makes the cut. Now, that's easy. It's kind of easy to say, too, because he ain't playing great golf either.
Sure.
But still, everybody keeps talking about how, he's the future, and I don't think he makes the cut.
There you go. All right, so there's Ben's bold prediction. Here's mine. I'm going to say this is going to be a first-time winner. I'm going to say no repeat winner this year, which I know Rahm was not a repeat. I'm going to say it's going to be a first-time winner.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like, Spieth won't win, Rahm won't win.
I think it's going to be somebody that's like sort of an out-of-the-box type winner this year. We're going to have one of those winners, like not as bad as like a what's the dude we always make a joke about? Danny
Willett.
We're not going to have a Danny Willett type, but it could be somebody like a
worst winner in Masters history.
I don't know, like a Jimmy Walker.
His brother makes it even worse.
I'm not saying Jimmy Walker, but
Jimmy
like a Jimmy Walker level star.
Did you see him break his putter this past week?
I did. It was he totally snapped. First of all, he's got the putter that says I give up. He got the Lab Golf putter.
Yeah.
The one that I give up on putting. I got to get a Lab Golf putter, and he got a little mad and ripped the head off on accident. And Rory was commentating, which was hilarious.
Rory and Smiley. It was the Friday with Smiley or whatever.
Rory said, "Oh."
even Smiley was like, and then Rory. The best part was Rory's comment where he goes, I didn't know he was that strong.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I think it's going to be somebody on that level, that level of stardom. I don't know why, that may be why I'm feeling a little bit poopy about it. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling. I got a weird feeling about this week.
It's been that way. I told you this past weekend's winner, Akshay Bhatia.
He gets to go play on now he's got a bad shoulder going to play the Masters.
See, but did you read more about that? That shoulder's always been bad. Apparently it pops out all the time. That's like a normal thing.
He is a lefty, so that course is kind of set up for lefties.
It's like within quit fist pumping your left shoulder if it pops out all the time.
What are you doing?
And so, he wins last weekend. He's won twice on tour since using his Instagram model girlfriend to be his caddy back on the Corn Ferry Tour. Now, I don't, back-to-back wins and back-to-back weeks, I don't see it happening. But like a name like that, like somebody that is up and coming, that's playing fairly well, that has been in contention, maybe top 15s over the last few weeks, they could turn it on, and you're right. I mean, probably people don't like hearing this. Kyle and I have talked about it because we've actually argued about it. Out of the majors, this is the weakest field.
For sure. Bunch of old guys.
And so
a lot of olds.
They have an opportunity to – I mean, some of them, they're already starting in 30th place or better because of the people behind them.
Yeah.
So that's why it's frustrating with the JTs of the world that you don't think make the cut, because he's got an opportunity to – he should make the cut minimum just because he's better than 50% of the field right now before they step on the golf course.
Exactly.
And he may not make the cut. So,
exactly.
This is an opportunity for somebody to step up. So I wouldn't mind seeing somebody new. I need to have somebody win that I can read the menu next year, Kyle. Because John Rahm, I don't know if you saw the menu. I have no idea what they're eating, but I can tell you this. It sounds good.
It does sound good.
Yeah.
All right, last thing we're going to talk about. I teased it last episode, but I want to talk about it with Ben. We had the Winter League finale, and the way they did it was if there was a tie for a place, then they would do a playoff for that place. So we tied for second.
Yeah.
So we were going to just have a 3-hole playoff. And it ended up like 12 holes.
Yes.
Which I don't think was expected.
It was not. Everybody was thinking 3 holes and done. We'd be out of here.
Yep. So, Ben, walk us through, like, kind of paint a picture of what was going on and how awesome this whole thing was.
Well, first off, let me just get to the play of it. The play of it is typical match play because 4-man scramble, us against them, for a fight for second place.
Well, first of all, this is funny. It was supposed to be a 2-man scramble.
Yes.
With the rule was you could bench a player and bring a player in, okay? But the problem is we had 2 lefties, so
worked out in our favor. So we had to turn
it did work
forward.
out in our favor. So if you set it up as like a 2-man scramble, you can't like rotate that play. Like you can't rotate players in the system.
Right.
So if we subbed out the left-handers, it would just screw up the whole system. So like, let's just do a 4-man scramble. I think they had to call one of the other guys from the other team to show up to play it. So that was great in and of itself. And then we go off, and the other team, let's just be honest, they had some better players than us.
No doubt.
They had a couple of players that were much better than us.
3 of them were definitely better than me.
And I think they thought that it would be 3 holes and done.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they did. So we step out of the box.
We played 16, 17, 18 TPC Sawgrass.
An Eagle 16.
Yes. We had one of our lefties hit about a 195 to 200 yard second shot to about 8 feet, I believe. 8 feet. And we eagled that, took a big lead. Then they stuffed one on 17.
Well, they didn't stuff it. They just made a putt.
They made a putt.
Yep. We were actually inside of them and missed our putt.
They made a putt, so they birdied 17. And then 18, I hit a bomb to about, I don't know, 112, 110, something like that. And then I ended up hitting another really good wedge, probably the best wedge of the night, for me anyway, in the circle. We birdied, but they birdied. They hit a long putt and birdie. So then they're like, oh, what do we do now? Let's do it again. So we did it again, and we tied.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let's just do 17 and 18. So then we did 17 and 18 and tied. And it was like back and forth. Like we would birdie, they would birdie. We would get a lead, they would get a lead. And then we all just kept bouncing back.
It was the most frustrating thing out of all of it.
What's that?
The second time through on 17, I don't usually brag about one shot, but I literally went at it like Ricky.
Oh, man.
And it lands just in the fringe in front of the green and does not pop on the green. If it pops on the green, it releases to the – wind was just a little in our face, and that little bit of wind held it up and kept us from being, if not give me, maybe hole in one.
No, and I flagged one and was like 5 yards long, and it bounces to the back of the green.
Yeah.
So like we hit some good shots, you just couldn't quite finish. But it was absolutely fantastic. And so I didn't tell them what happened. So we get to the last. I didn't talk about how it ended up finishing.
Okay.
So the last 2 or 3 holes, we're like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play 17 as a scramble. We're gonna crank the wind way up. You're going to play it as a scramble, and then whatever happens on this last hole, if y'all tie it again, we're going to play all 4 guys go play your own ball, and we're taking the low 2 scores, which would have been epic.
That would have been fantastic.
But we had about a 30-footer. They had about a 25-footer, and they hit it to beat us, which they did several times. They hit some long putts.
Good for them.
And they took home second. So we still placed third place.
Yeah, we got
absolute
third.
Blast.
We got a ton of gift cards. I mean,
there was
they took care of us.
40 people watching. It was like wall to wall. It was more electric than the whole league, I think.
Oh yeah, every one of them said that. They were like, we need to do this. We need to basically draw straws, and it'd be 2 teams playing against one another, but everybody else has to be here.
Yes, yeah, that's a good idea.
And
get 40 people.
And I said the way you do that is you basically you tell everybody they have to show up that night, and then just draw names.
Yeah,
and that's who plays.
Yep.
Now, some
Man
people may leave,
ring.
but the rest of them, everybody was drinking, having a good time here at Bunkers. They were eating
giving away
food.
prizes.
Yeah, they were giving away all kinds, like door prizes, and giving away all kinds of stuff. They were screaming at us whenever we would make good shots, whenever we made bad shots. People high-fiving. It was absolutely
What
electric.
you should do? This is what you should do. You should get 20 guys.
Yeah.
Come up here, get a bay, and then draw straws for 1v1.
Yes, for just 3 holes.
Or just 1 hole. 1 hole, 2 holes, whatever. And then you play it, and whoever wins gets a point. Then you draw again. That would be epic. And then you got everybody sitting back talking crap. And
I'm not advocating. Maybe a little side action going on during that whole time.
Yes,
yeah,
totally. Betting for not money.
Drinks.
Because that's illegal.
You got bet for drinks. We were doing that. I was doing that with Brewer.
Yeah.
Brewer was wanting to bet because he wasn't even part of it. His team had won, but he's the one that you've seen that has made the shirtless appearances on our
several
show.
times, yeah.
So visiting with him, I was like, all right, let's Kyle's going to do this. Next pitcher's on you. Sure enough, Kyle won me a pitcher, by the way. So it worked out well for me.
Thank you. You're welcome, Ben. But guys, you got to come check this place out. It's unbelievable. We love being here. It's a highlight of our week. We start our week off with this place. So.
Yeah.
They got parties. There's about to be a party coming in. We got to get out of here because there's about to be a party coming in. You can rent 3 bays for 2 hours. Incredible discount for doing stuff like that. It's a great place for parties. Great place to just come hang out. Lunchtime, you can come play for lunch for $10 an hour. So you can take a lunch break, an hour lunch break, come up here, get waited on, get you a bay, and it's only $10 versus, the $75 to $100 it is on the weekend. So definitely got to check that out.
I didn't know it was $10 lunches.
$10, not $10 food, $10 an hour.
No, that's what I'm saying. $10 an hour
in the bay.
Yeah.
So that's from like 11 to 2 or something like that. So
check
that out, and then you got the Sunday brunch, 10 to 3. Kids play free. So check it out. Love this place. Y'all come here, show them some love. This is episode 326. 326.
Why'd you ask me that? We covered that at the beginning.
We always do this, or I say we. I always do this and mess up. So this is episode 326.
I didn't know there'd be homework.
Yep, of the Dad by Golf Pod. We really appreciate it. And we're always
stroking.